Are you satisfied with your understanding of sustainability? If you are not, imagine a journey together, a pluralistic one, with academia, innovators, startups, NGOs, all looking for solutions to the greatest challenge of our time. My name is Samuele Tini, and this is the Sustainability Journey. Welcome to another episode, and today we have a guest with us. She has 15 years of experience leading diverse and complex marketing strategy internationally across major brands as IMG International, Castrol, Mattel, Disney. With her, we are going to find out a little bit more about what makes her tick, her thoughts on sustainability, and about being a woman in leadership. Welcome so much. It's such an honor for us to have you, Nupur Gadkari. Thank you, Nupur, for being here.
Thank you, Samuel. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a real pleasure to have you. You have a bestseller author. You have been in the corporate world with positions. Now you are leading, and you are a woman also in many of the business school trying to lead and breaking the ceilings. Before discussing that, I think it would be interesting for the audience to know a bit more about your story. Who is Nupur and what is your background?
I've been born and brought up in Mumbai, India. So all of my school, college, undergrad was very much in Mumbai. And after that, I've had the opportunity to work with several companies in several different roles of marketing. And they range from everything from brand marketing to sports marketing, digital marketing, channel marketing. So I've just had the privilege of having a really diverse experience in this field. I'm the eldest of 3 siblings, and I absolutely love writing poetry. In my free time, I also do a lot of sketching and art. So acrylic on canvas, oil on canvas. And that, to me, anything creative really draws me, because I feel like it's my bit of time that I sort of devote to that hobby. And it becomes sort of meditation when you literally cut out from everything that's going on and focus only on those 3 hours or 4 hours of art or creativity in some form. So I absolutely love it. I'm doing my full-time MBA now at Warwick Business School. And it's been a great journey, because being a student after 15 years is not easy, and I've been working back to back for the last 15 years in marketing. So getting back to books, being a student, chasing assignments, studying for exams is a whole new world all over again. But I'm loving the journey, and I absolutely love that I took this decision and came back to Warwick for the second time.
Thank you so much. It's really interesting and a pleasure. And I want to ask you a bit about you have a very extensive marketing experience, especially in the corporate world and in India. From the point of view of the marketing side, how we can market sustainability, how we can foster sustainability, and especially maybe a bit on the Indian subcontinent.
It's a really interesting question. Sustainability today is becoming more and more the buzzword, and everybody is getting to know more and more about it. Today, I think I find a lot of consumers more aware of what sustainability is and why it's important in our lives. So when we talk about global warming, when we talk about, say, no to plastics, I think that awareness has come from all the education that brands have started to build to say, look, this is how we use our products, make our products, manufacture our products. And I think that's a really responsible way of communicating how you are as a brand. And, they used to say even in the past, consumer is king. And honestly, being a marketer for 15 years, that truth has not changed. So tomorrow, if a majority of the consumers decide to boycott a brand or a product that is not sustainable or doesn't believe in preserving the environment, I feel like they have the power to really overthrow that brand out of business, and because brands and, more importantly, consumers are becoming more and more aware, I think it's time we add a 5th P to the 4 Ps of marketing. So, you have the product, price, place, and promotion, but I think we need to add planet, because preserving the planet is absolutely key. And if consumers decide to say, I'm sorry, I believe in sustainable products end to end, so if you don't change, we're not going to buy, that will put a lot of pressure on companies that aren't doing anything sustainable yet. And because this is becoming a worldwide phenomena, it's not just true for India, but it's true for every other country. There's lots of brands, that believe in sustainability end to end. So right from, I heard of one of the brands, who are in apparel, and right from the fabric that they choose for their t-shirts and tops and jeans, to the packaging, to the labels on the packaging, to the printing and the ink that it takes to say the price on the label, everything was made out of sustainable. Right to, if you don't end up wearing your t-shirt for too long, there's a way to return it to the brand, and then they make sort of recycle it, reuse it, and resell it to someone else. So that was amazingly refreshing, because that's what we need to do. We need to understand how important it is to be more sustainable today.
And thank you so much. I think the insights you gave us to adding the planet fee, I think is also fundamentally crucial in this decade. It is the last decade. We are reading on the newspaper, we are on the brink of reaching the 1.5. It is really now also the responsibility of businesses to ensure that. I want to go a bit deeper in your experience in the corporate world, because in the podcast we had many leaders. I tried to be the host of 90% of guests of our podcast are women. So it's really interesting how they are working sustainability and really fostering this concept, in the corporate world. And I want to ask a bit of your experience in how to be a leader, especially in the business world, and given your also focus on sustainability. Which are the stories that you can share with us, and how you have broken some of the ceilings that still held women?
That's my favorite question, Samuel, because in the corporate world, in the last 15 years, so much has changed for women. And women in business is now becoming a buzzword, is also now becoming something people are looking to, have a part of their diversity and inclusion agenda. But, it hasn't always been this easy, because initially women always, I have seen pay disparities. I have seen women not getting promotions. I have seen women not getting certain specific jobs that they'd like to do and experience, only because, I think there's a perception that being a woman comes with being a homemaker, being a mother, being a partner, having added responsibilities that may distract you from your day-to-day jobs. And I believe that's a very orthodox and regressive view, because women, I feel, make the best managers. They're really great at multitasking. They're able to balance the practical and the emotional quotient. And this is not, I'm not saying this because I'm a woman, but I have noticed more often than not that women are able to take more sound decisions as well in certain situations. This is not to have any sort of bias to either gender, but being a woman, I've had some really tough questions, because I remember in interviews sometimes the outcome of me getting a job would be largely dependent on, I remember once I got asked, so are you planning to get married? And I said, I'm sorry, that's a little personal. And, this person said, yeah, but we just need to plan, because if you get married and then you have, you plan a family, and then, so we've got to, and I said, that's got nothing to do with my merit and how I fit this role and how I know I can contribute to this role and be really good at it. I've also had some people, ask me questions about, oh, we didn't know you knew pricing strategy. And I said, why would that be a question? No, we never thought you could do pricing. You could price a product. You could come up with a pricing strategy. And to me, those questions were so vague and they were so different. And I said, why the distance and the discrimination, or the, or saying we didn't know you could do it? It's not been the easiest. So I feel like every woman today needs to understand her potential. I think it's very important not to fall into the traps of all these dialogues and big labels people give us. I haven't had it as hard as some other women. Some stories are really horrific. But I think you are your own person. You are the only person who can break your own glass ceiling, and you have the power to change how people look at you. It's not to say you have to prove something. It's to just be yourself. And it's not been easy for me, but at every time I had to define my boundaries. I had to define what I am in a corporate world. And slowly but surely we got to where we are. And it's been 15 years now with some really amazing brands.
Sometimes when I hear the stories, and many they've come also in the podcast, it's really saddening, to see still this blockage and those type of questions. It's also not wise as a business perspective. You are chasing away talent. It's really not also wise as a business decision. But I can see, and we can see the process and people like you that really speaking out and being leaders, a women leader, and also helping others, coach other women, especially in your role in the business school. It's really important. And I want also to discuss a bit this, you are the leader of the marketing group, you are working with the students, you are coaching women leaders. If you can explain a bit your role and the work that you are doing.
Sure. So my current stage as a student at Warwick Business School, I am the ambassador for the school. I'm also a part of the Global Mentoring Steering Committee. So I'm a mentor myself, and year on year, we get a bunch of mentees matched to us so we can help them in their journeys and help them navigate their journeys and decisions, usually in their professional lives. And I've also taken up some roles as a part of my student year, because I don't know if I'll ever get that opportunity again. I'm the co-president of the marketing club, and I'm also the content director for TEDx Warwick. And all of these roles essentially have different reasons and the why I sort of decided to associate with them. Essentially, being a mentor, for instance, is I feel very passionate about it because I never had that opportunity when I was in my formative years in my career. And I feel like a mentor can add a lot of perspective because he or she is so experienced in their field. They've seen more of the career world and the corporate world than us. And I feel like sometimes those drops of wisdom are so important to sort of help you navigate your journey in your life. And all of us have a different journey where in our personal lives, we're at different stages. So, a mentor adds that insight. And I think for me, my mentor constantly pushed my boundaries, pushed me, challenged me to be almost like a better version, like a better 2.0 version of Nupur, which I wasn't thinking of, but then that conversation helps. So for me, it was about giving back when I decided to become a part of this program, and how I can, help someone else who was at the same stage as me in their life. Being a part of the marketing club and being the co-president, it was a no-brainer for me. I absolutely love marketing. I breathe marketing. I live marketing. And it's been my life for so long. I'm so passionate about it. And I love that it brings out, pushes me to think harder, pushes me to think out of the box. So for me, when I was a part of my cohort, I realized that not everyone comes from a marketing background. Some people are from the sales background, business development, operations. And then to me, I decided if I had the chance to show them how amazing marketing is, if we have some great industry speakers as a part of the club or discuss some case studies that might give them a better insight, then why not? Because I really, really love marketing. I do. So that's why I took on that, the role of being the co-president for the year. And we've had some amazing, amazing speakers this year. And with TED, I am a absolute strong believer that an idea can come from anywhere. It can be, someone who is working in the admin staff of your office, to the CEO, to the managing director, to someone who just delivers milk. Because honestly, ideas are powerful and they can come from absolutely anywhere. So TED is all about ideas. TED is all about giving ideas a platform so they can get heard and seen. And because I believe in that as well, I took on this role. So it's been a great year with some amazing extracurricular activities. Let me also say it's not been the easiest because the MBA is so intensive and it's a full-time job, if I may say that. But being a part of all of this also opens your eyes to newer perceptions, gets you to meet new people, young and old, gets you to understand their perspective. So I think every experience is a learning for me, and that's what I'm trying to do this year.
Thank you so much, Nupur. It's wonderful. You are doing so many things, and you just had, I think last month, a wonderful TEDx at Warwick with wonderful speakers. You have organized a greater, and some of the speakers also came already in the podcast. And you have not mentioned, you are also been nominated few days ago, MBA to watch, but Poets and Qants. So it's really, you are a rising star. and doing so much and working a lot. And your passion, especially in the mentoring, is a testimony of your work and how you want to give back. And I mentioned also another thing, another feather on Nupur for Nupur. It is, you are a best-selling author. You have the business side, the marketing, the coaching, the communication, but also what you mentioned before, the creativity, and poetry, art. Can you tell us a bit more about that side of Nupur and how it also helped growing in your experiences?
My journey has its ups and downs, and it's had its lots and lots of learnings and lots of experiences. So I started writing when I was about 14 years old. And I used to write because it was a way for me to channelize at the time how I was feeling or what I was seeing or what I was observing. And I never really, started writing with an intention to publish. I started writing just to feel better, to channelize all of my feelings and emotions and energies into words. And I realized that writing is therapeutic. Writing helped me feel lighter. It helped me sort of have a friend in a book. And I would keep doing that as many times as I remember. And just recently, 2 years ago, I remember starting my handle called Verses and Sonnets on Instagram and Facebook. And I started publishing some of this just, on these pages for free. I mean, there was nothing. Today, my Facebook page has 20,000 followers. My Instagram has about 3,000 followers, and it's growing. And it's not just so much about the numbers. It was more about what people were writing to me. They, so many people and readers said, this is what I'm going through right now. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is what I remember feeling at that time. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what I started realizing is that whatever I was writing was resonating with some people. And I said, at the time that you were 14, you didn't have this friend. You didn't have a verse or a sonnet or a poem to turn to. You didn't have a book to read that could help you feel better because you were writing. So why not publish what you've been writing so that more people can benefit from it? And what if this book becomes a friend to someone else when they really, really need it? And that's how that journey started. And that's how I decided to publish. And little did I know, the response was amazing. The book got launched and went on to become an international bestseller, went on to become an Amazon #1 in 3 categories on Amazon. And I was a bit overwhelmed because I didn't know that so many people would accept it with open arms and give it so much love and support. But more importantly, I'm just happy because all of the wonderful words I get to read after people have read the book. Some people have said it brought me to tears. Some people said I felt lighter. Some people said this is the best book ever. Some people said this is what I've gone through and I can't believe you've captured it in these words. And I just feel like if it's making a difference, then I should continue that journey. So that's how the author happened. And that's how that side of, one of my hobbies converted into something which became something meaningful to someone else.
And that exactly the human side, the way also you can touch people's lives and relate with the problems. And I think is a good, the two legs, which the brain and the heart that we are walking. You are very good in your work in marketing, the business and the rational side, but you're also able to get through and also get the people. As you said, when you write, you touch people's heart and soul. So it's really important for us. And I want you to appeal a bit on that side of Nupur, the touching the hearts and soul, to give us a message, for the audience, the vast audience that is listening to us. See, what are your thoughts and what is your call for action?
I feel like I would leave everyone with one message, that be proud of who you are. Everybody has their own journeys, their own learnings in life, and there is no right and wrong. You've got to be true to who you are, and you've got to be proud of that. It took me a long time to realize who I was, to have, some level of self-worth and accept that this is who I am. So be proud of who you are, be kind and be truthful as much as you can help it, because life has its own twists and turns, and there's lots of distractions, diversions, but you've got to be able to look at yourself every day And I remember writing this one line when I was probably not in a great space. And I remember writing, "You are your own silver lining," because there's no cloud and it's just you. So it's up to you to create that silver lining. It's up to you to be that silver lining and believe that you can be. So all I would say to everyone listening is believe in yourself. I know it sounds cliched and overly said, but believe me, when you realize your own potential and you realize what you're worthy of, there's no looking back. And I'm learning every day. I haven't yet reached that end, and I'm learning every single minute of how that journey unfolds. And so far, it's been amazing. So be proud, be brave, and be your own silver lining.
Thank you so much, Nupur. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you for these words. I think are really insightful for us and also for the discussion we had. So I'm really honored to have you as a guest, and thank you for the insights and for the work that you are doing. Thank you so much.
So happy to be here, Samuel. Thank you for this opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Are you satisfied after this wonderful episode? Let's continue together our sustainability journey.